Hello and welcome, this is Mouse Gunner, and we're back with some more of the Farming Simulator 19 playthrough on Felsbrunn. And I have finished this field. There's a little bit of soybeans in the harvester still, but we have a full trailer to go deliver. Now, as far as the contract goes, I'm at 96% progress, so we're going to hit that 100% and the contract will finish before I dump all this off. So my goal is to stop the dropping of the soybeans as soon as we do that so that we get to keep as much as we can. Well, actually, I should check. What are the current prices for soybeans? Okay, soybeans. So it's going to be this guy right here. We're looking at, so we're delivering it to the grain mill, which is at 1442. But just looking at this briefly, it looks like this is the best price, 1626, which that's an all right price. It could definitely be better. So maybe we hold on to this, either that or we take it to Port Southeast rather than the grain mill. So I'll have to decide on that. If you're curious how I'm making some of these decisions, you do learn some of this stuff just by playing the game. But I'm also using a guide. It's Hungry Cow 212's Farm Simulator 19 commodity price table. And this user has broken down the different economic difficulties and what prices you should expect at that difficulty. And I don't know how up to date it is. And there is the caveat if you're using a mod map that it may not be accurate because the mod maker can change the prices of various goods on their map. But considering that we're using a default map, it should still be accurate. But that 1600 plus price is above average for soybeans, but it's not also the maximum, anywhere near the maximum price either, so it's kind of in between the two. So we could definitely get more out of it if we were to save it, but it's also not a bad price to sell it at either. Soybeans are worth quite a bit. So doing this particular job is really going to pay out quite a bit more than the actual contract sounds like it's going to pay. Do I need fuel? Not really. I can hold off on it, but I just thought about that because there's a station right there. All right. Let's dump. All right, so I just want to, I'm looking over in the upper right, and there should be a green icon or some text that will tell me when the contract's done. There it is. So we sold a little bit of the soybeans, but not a lot. I get to keep most of it. So we've got over 6,000, and there was a little bit still in our harvester. I don't remember how much. But this is actually quite a haul, because if we were to sell this right now for that 1,600 price, that would be quite a lot of money. All right, so we're done with the contract. Let's go ahead and take it. So we just go back to the contract screen. We go to the contract in question. It's finished, so we collect. So that's 4,900 and a little bit extra. So that's quite good for us. We might have enough time to do another contract, although I doubt before it gets dark. I can't see what time it is because of the sky right now. It's a little overcast. So it's almost 6:30. It's going to start getting dark within the next hour and a half. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to drive back to the harvester. We'll collect the rest of the soybeans from the harvester. I don't remember if I left the pipe in or out. I think I put it back in. So I'm going to have to jump out of the tractor here. Yeah, we'll run back to the harvester. We'll get the harvester. We'll drive that back. Well, no, I might just leave it on the field for right now, because I need to do the lime spreading. So yeah, we'll get the rest of the soybeans off the field. I'll drop off the trailer. We can either put this in the silo or we can hold on it. We don't have to make a decision right this second, though. Didn't look like that price is going down at the one facility had the best price, but it's also not going up currently. We've got some time, possibly. I don't know if dropping off soybeans affects when you're doing it for the AI, if that affects the market, but delivering a commodity does affect the market. Yeah, I did put that pipe in. Let me just double check what the prices are like right now. So most of them are around 1,400, except for the one at the grain elevator, which is really low. Average prices for soybean is 1,400, so most of them are around about that. The train station mill is the one currently going up. So how I know that is this green arrow here is telling me this price is going up. So as time passes, it will continue to rise. Red means it's going down. So 1626 is our best price, but it's going to take a long time for this to get above that, and it may not ever get above that. So something to keep in mind. All right, let me go ahead and jump out of the tractor, and then we'll... Okay, not a lot left in the harvester, really, honestly, but... So we're getting a little over 7,000 to keep. That's a good amount. Though, again, it's just going to be worth a decent amount of money, especially if we can sell it at a good price. It's going to pay more than the job would have. So this is one of the reasons why I really value harvest contracts. Because you get more money out of it than a lot of the other contracts just by, if you are thorough and you harvest every bit of the field, you get quite a bit of an advantage. So yeah, I'm going to keep the harvester here for now, as we don't need it for quite some time. Our farm's not that far away. I mean, we could see it from here. But in between videos, I did a little bit of setup. So I dumped out the fertilizer that was in our spreader. And I set up the spreader so it's ready for me to take it to a lime station. I'm just going to stick this here. I can make my decision on whether I want to put it in the silo in a bit. But for right now, we'll not worry about that. Getting the lime and doing that's going to be more of a priority. So let me just double check where the lime station is. I believe there's one in the southeast corner. Yeah, so Port Southeast is where our best price is, but it's also where our lime station is. I don't know if there is another one on this map. Now, you can't just buy... Oh, there's another one up in the northwest. So at our 2 ports, it looks like. Or are there 3 ports? Southeast and northwest? Yeah, okay. 2 ports. Alright. I guess I'll just go to the lime station by Port Southeast. It's not that far away, but I could just buy it from the shop. I don't know if you really save too much money comparatively. Maybe a tiny, small percentage. But it's not a huge difference. If I have enough time, I will... What's the state of some of the crops that are out there? So Field 27 is still on the first stage of growth, as is Field 28 and 18. These are all potentially fields that we could do contracts for. I don't know if there is one yet. We'll have to check. Looks like there definitely is more than when we first started, but I'm still not seeing Field 27. I've forgotten some of the other ones. Field 18 might have been one of the ones. But it's corn, which is a problem. We'd have to loan equipment. Yeah. 28's the other one that's nearby us. That would be ready for harvest. So I didn't see one for that either. So neither 27 or 28 are on our list yet, but 18 is. I mean, I could do this and just take the 500 drop, but for right now, I'm not too worried about it. Let's do what we can while there's still daylight. Which, again, is not going to last too much longer. We've got maybe an hour of daylight. Because by the time you get to about 8 o'clock, it's starting to get dark. So... been kind of rushing around trying to do things to try and get as much done in this first day as we can, but I think there's going to be a point where we're going to have to throw in the towel and just go, okay, that's as much as we can do. Although I don't really need it to be light out to be able to do harvesting. It's not like harvesting is that challenging, comparatively speaking. I think fertilizing and stuff is the stuff that you really need to have. Where is this lime station? Where is it? precisely, because I don't see it on the mini map here. Oh, we still have a ways to go. Okay, so go this way. There's another roundabout. I should also check to see the state of the weeds if they've popped in. Let me check that right now while I'm thinking about it. So that would be under this. Still no weeds have showed up. If they had, there would be this mauve color. Maybe perhaps a magenta. Alright. So it should be the little white down arrow there should be our lime station, which I can see it right there. It's this little tower thing. Looks kind of like a silo. Alright, start filling. We're not going to need a full amount. You can only get lime here. But I might take a full amount anyway, because I don't think lime's all that expensive. I could be wrong, but it also spreads a lot faster than fertilizer. Spreading a lime with this particular machine isn't anywhere near as efficient as spreading a fertilizer. But yeah, that was 1,600 for 9,000 liters. That's really not bad. Is there a way I can turn around if I go back this way? Kind of, but it's kind of tight. Maybe I should have just turned around where I was. Alright, back we go. Yeah, so I had not planned to do lime spreading this early, because normally it takes a few harvests for one to pop up, but I guess the fields you start with in this mode could be in various states. I believe we go straight through this roundabout. And it's the other roundabout that we're going to make a turn off on. Although I guess we could have gone to the north, it wouldn't have hurt. At least this way we get to see the little village here. Almost missed my turn off. Cow statue. Does that mean we're supposed to have cows on this map? Where's our chicken statue? Alright. So one of my goals that I might try and do is to pay off the loan. I may pay 10,000 back every day, and then in 25 days we'd have the loan paid off. That seems reasonable, especially if we can do these contracts to help pay for it. As we've already discussed, the soybeans are going to be worth more than that even if I sold them right now. It would also diminish the interest payment we're going to have to do. Alright, so the thing with lime is it doesn't spread nearly as far as the fertilizer does in this same spreader. So I haven't dialed this in as well. I probably will do this somewhat conservatively, but let's do initial spreading, see how it covers, and then we'll go. Okay, it seems like we're okay as long as I hold this line. I'm not sure how good of a job I'm doing. But yeah, it's not covering all that much of an area right now. Once we get to the fertilizer, which we haven't needed so far, you'll see that it covers much more of an area, and thus is much easier to do. I'm bobbing and weaving all over the track here, not doing a very good job of staying straight. It's tricky when you have a trailer to do the straight lines sometimes, because a small adjustment can mean a kind of coarse adjustment for the trailer. And it can be hard. So again, I'm going to be somewhat conservative here, just because I don't want to miss a spot. Because we're not going to need to do this all that often, so I want to make sure I get it good the first time. And I can't really see what I'm doing unless I zoom way out. Driving this way. I guess that's probably an alright thing to do. Zoom way out so I can see what I'm doing. Because the other view, it's much harder to drive in a straight line. At least for me it is. Yeah, so we can see how poor of a straight line I did on that first thing. Now, the field being bumpy and it being hilly is going to make it challenging to drive in a straight line anyway. Alright, let's see how we did. Have we missed any spots? See, this is something you can actually see quite well if you put it on the right view. So we go here, needs lime. Oh, that's interesting. It's all streaky. Looks like fertilizer colors. So we're getting a combination of full, solid blue, and then the lighter blue. So we're definitely not going to need the first stage of fertilization, but it's kind of spotty. I don't know why it did that with the potatoes, but not with the beets. That's interesting. Oh, okay. Something to keep in mind. I mean, obviously we're not going to need it, but knowledge isn't going to be all that important in the future. Maybe it had something to do with the state, because I think the beets might have been ready. Which one was further along, actually? I don't remember. I honestly don't remember which of the crops was further along. I thought it was the beets, but I may be misremembering. It might have been the potatoes. So maybe that doesn't explain it. But yeah, if the beets were just ready to harvest, that might explain why the fertilizer was set up better. Might have just been the state of the field that we inherited. But yeah, you can see that it's starting to get dark here pretty rapidly at 7:30. That's probably a little on the early side for it to be getting dark. And I feel like it takes quite some time for it to get light, as you oftentimes don't get it light until about 7 in the morning. Yeah, but this is the general idea with the lime. Just go back and forth. It's kind of somewhat easy to see where you have and haven't been because it's bright white. But I think it's because you're not spreading a large area, it is easy to miss a spot. So, and honestly, I think it's easy to miss a spot and not notice it because of the way the graphic for it looks when you're in the game. Sometimes it looks like an area is white, but it's not really fully covered. So I've kind of learned to just be conservative with the lime spreading, because again, you don't need to do it all that often. And it's not like the lime is all that expensive. Although I am starting to run out of it quite quickly. As I said, you do go through it at a certain rate. But in any case, I'm going to go ahead and put a cut here. We'll finish it up, and I'll be back when I'm done with this. Alright, we are done. So let me just make sure. Does it look like I obviously missed a spot? Not that I see. So, looks like we're good with the lime. So I have about 2,000 left. And again, I was really conservative with that. But let's move on to the next process here. Oh, okay, the weeds have grown in, it looks like. So we can take care of that. I have to remember to get my harvester as well. Right now, I'm just going to put this... Actually, I've been putting it on that one cement area over here. Go ahead and just hop out here. Alright, so we already have what we need in the tractor. Oh, one thing I meant to say earlier is I did do a little bit of a change that you might have noticed already. I removed the keybind to hire a... Well, technically the controller button to hire a worker. Because with most sets of equipment, you're holding in the left bumper and then the B button to lower something, which is something you use a lot. It's really easy for you to mistime that or just not hold the button in enough or something and accidentally hit the higher worker. So I just went ahead and removed that. I still have the keybind on my keyboard, so in theory it's something I can do. But with the way I'm going to be playing, it's not something I'm going to be doing really all that often. Alright, so let's approach this. This isn't really all that hilly. There is a hill on the far side. And there's a hill that happens at the road, which may cause some difficulty in spraying in that direction. You know what? Would it be easier to go just the way we're going? Or widthwise? I'm going to try it this way. We'll see how it does. It'll give us a lesson for the future if it's a problem. Alright, let's unfold. We're gonna have to figure out the size of our sprayer here and how to line this up. So, as we noticed earlier, this could be I just don't have the right weight up front, because I'm noticing it's kind of leaning towards the back. That could be something we maybe adjust later. I wonder, if I lower the weight, does that do anything? Not really. Okay. Didn't think so, but I thought I'd give it a try. So I'm going to have to manually lower the arms, which is something I can do. It's not a big deal. Alright, let's line this up. Let's zoom out quite a bit so we can see what we're doing. Now, normally when you do the fertilizer, it's going to change the dirt a different color. Yeah. I'm just trying to line it up here. The sprayer I use most often is the Kuhn sprayer. And I've used this one before, but I believe I used it with the longer arms. Alright. Lower it. Okay, here we go. Turn on and go. And you'll see the weeds will die. They'll turn black like that. That lets you know you've gotten them. Now, if there's no weeds in, you can still do the spraying and the weeds won't grow, but this gives you guys an idea. Now, this would also be the moment where if you wanted to do this with a weeder, you would do this. But if you let the weeds grow any more than this stage, you can't really use the weeder, so you got to get it at this stage if you're going to get it at all. So, turn off the sprayer so we're not wasting any. And then here, we're just going to kind of line it up. It's a lot harder to do this in the dark. But I'm going to give myself some leeway, just as a precaution, so I'm not missing any spots. But yeah, so if you do this before the weeds grow in, the weeds won't grow in, so you can do it preemptively. We didn't, because I wasn't sure if it was required or not with the inheriting these fields in various states. And because of that, the normal process has been a little funky here of setting up a field, but... So now I think it's safe to say that probably the other field's going to need sprayed as soon as we plant, which I might start doing here. I'm somewhat surprised we haven't had a growth tick. I wonder, hopefully I didn't accidentally hit a setting. I mean, you can technically turn plant growth off, I think. I'll double check that. I don't think I would have, but I guess anything's possible. Alright, so at this point I'm going to bring the arms in because we do have trees and stuff to worry about. Yeah, so the hill starts getting kind of bad once we get over here. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal with the equipment we have. And with the tactics I use with my harvester, I don't think it will be a big deal either, so... Alright, as far as I can tell, we maybe have one more pass. I might be a little too far over to the right there. Let me pull over a little bit. But again, I want to be conservative here and try and get a little bit of overlap. Alright, so because I unfolded, I have to manually lower again. Okay, and go. Now there is a height you can spray from with this. You don't have to necessarily get as low as you can, but if you're on a hill, and one side, like let's say on the right side of the arm, there's not much distance between the ground and my arm, but there's quite a bit of a distance between the left side and the ground. That's where you could run into a problem. Because it is possible to be too high. And that's where I'm worried about this side. So this side we don't have a lot left to do, but there's a distinct drop in the elevation here towards the road. So let's see if we can get it. Thankfully we'll have the clue that we're getting it because the weeds will die. Yeah, it looks like it's doing okay. So yeah, it was just one of those things I wasn't sure about. We might have to approach some of these fields a different way. Might be more of a concern on the other field because there's this big hump on one section of the field, and what I described with the arms, I might have a problem with the arm digging in on one side if the slope is severe enough. Okay, that's it. That was our spraying. So we're not going to need this until we do the planting of our other field, which I could wait until morning to do. Let me make sure the plant growth is on, because all of a sudden I'm worried we haven't had really anything. Yeah, it should be on normal. That one contract did change something too. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I mean, it's 8 o'clock, 8:30, so probably a little early to go to bed. I do have to go get my harvester though, so let's go on a journey to go get that. As I said, I'm going to try and avoid teleportation from here on out, so we're going to go walk over and get it. I also want to check to see if this field 27, has a contract yet. No, as a matter of fact, it looks like the contracts have actually decreased in number. Many of them are harvesting contracts, though. What do you got here? Sugar beets, oats. Oats would be the only one we could do without getting a loan of equipment. These are bigger fields, though. Like field 18 is not that big. It's only 2 hectares as opposed to, what was it, 4? A little under 2 hectares. But this would be the field we would be harvesting. Again, I'd have to get the loaner equipment if I did that. Well, what I can do is I could loan, I can sow that field, get that going, and then we can worry about you know what, actually I want to go this way. We can worry about weeding and stuff in the morning, because we're not likely going to have a whole lot to do here. As our one field, we've pretty much done all we can on it until we need to harvest it, because it's fully fertilized. There's nothing I can do with that. So I think that's what I'm going to do here as soon as we get our harvester back. Fortunately, I'm going to have to do it in the dark, but it's not that big of a deal. We might miss out on the harvesting of this field here, which I was kind of excited to do because it is another set of soybeans. It's right across the road from us. It'd probably pay us, maybe not as much, because I think that field's slightly smaller than the other one that we did. But it'd probably pay us, let's just say 3,000 for the work, and then we might come away with another 6,000 liters, perhaps, of soybeans, which would be worth quite a lot. You know what, I want to park this. Let's just start getting our equipment where we want to leave them, so let's park this in behind our shed. We can start putting some equipment away. Okay, so this spreader and all the things related to it, I think I'm going to leave on this area for right now till I get the time to clean it up. I'll stick this tractor and the sprayer in this first dock here. I mean, I guess I could put the trailer away in one of these. Let me double check the prices of soybeans, see if they've gotten to a good state. I doubt they have, but you never know. Let's see. Okay, 2 of them are raising in price, so it's potential that when we wake up in the morning, there will be a good price on one of those. So that might be one of the things we do first thing in the morning. So I'm just going to leave this here for right now. I'm going to grab the trailer, dump the soybeans in our silo. Actually put some headlights on. Okay. So this should be the first thing I'm dumping into the silo, at least as far as I remember. So we'll be able to see once I've done dumping here. Yeah, we can see it going into the soybeans right now. Okay. That's that done. I'm just gonna stick the trailer right here for now. Alright. Now, the field we have here should already be cultivated. So it's just going to be a matter of doing what we want to do. So we have soybeans. What else would we want? Oats can sell for a decent amount, but right now the prices for them are terrible. Canola can also sell for a decent amount. And again, the prices for that are bad right now. Although the one is going up and is going in the right direction, perhaps. Maybe canola. Now, we have no guarantee these prices will be what they are right now once we get to the point where we're harvesting. So it's good to have a variety of things. I might go with canola here. Let's go ahead and... Oh, okay. I can't select that until I get the other part, because it just says seeds generically. Now it switches to barley. We'll go to canola. Alright, we can zoom in. I don't need to be so far zoomed out. Okay. So this should be really the only step we need to do here. Oh, I do need to set it for real time. There's a little bit of a hitch there. Wonder if something happened. I don't notice a growth thing happening. Oh, anyway, one thing I do want to do is because we're planting. Discussed this in a previous video. A recommendation I got was put it on real time when you are doing the sowing. That way you don't have part of the field growing at a different rate than another part. Because the way this game works is it works in, as far as I understand, is it works in growth ticks. Everything on the map seemingly grows at the same time at a set interval. Now, what interval that is and whether or not a crop affects the interval, I don't know. There's a lot of speculation on this. But more or less, that's how it works. So if you can tighten up the interval that your field will be on, so it's not going to be partially in one interval on one part and another interval on the other part, which can be inconvenient, especially as it can be multiple hours in between. That's kind of your goal. Alright, let's do one more pass here. And honestly, I think this is going to be a point where I'm going to cut here, and we'll be right back. And then really, honestly, this is the last thing we're going to probably do for this day. All right. Finished. So, oh cool, we had a stage of growth happen there. These are not weeds, because we've already weeded. Alright, let me clean up and we will wrap up this day by going to bed. Oh, I should change the time scale. We don't need to have it going this slow anymore. Yeah, so we've gone to the next stage of growth there, as have many things on the map. Let's go with 5 times speed. I am curious if the contracts have shown up. Granted, it's not going to really matter at this point. Not that I see. Alright. Do a little bit of cleanup here. Oh, I'm still have the thing on. Whoops. Okay. Drop you. So I'll do the weeding tomorrow morning. Not gonna really worry about that too much. Now we might have had part of the field get caught in a different growth period, as I didn't really notice when that tick happened, but I can guarantee you it happened some point during when I was doing the sowing, so not really sure what to expect there. Oops. Kind of misjudged the size here. Oh, I see. There's these little pines in the back. All right, that'll do. Before we go to bed, though, make sure we pay off, as I discussed earlier. We're going to repay 10,000 a day. At least that's our goal, as long as I can afford it. If I end up getting a lot of money and I can pay it off quicker, I will do so. But for right now, we're just going to pay 10,000 off. And I don't think there's anything else I need to do. There's some, like, cleanup I could do here and there, but it's fine enough that we can hold it off until tomorrow, because there might not be a whole lot going on tomorrow. So we're gonna go ahead and sleep. It was actually, what time is it? Almost 9:40. Okay, well, I'll probably have to exit out and come back in. There we go. If I do 8 hours, that would get us, let's do 9 hours. So there's our interest, a little bit of property management. Those are things we're going to expect every day. Now 6:40. We have some light to look at. And I think this is where we're going to wrap up this video. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. This is Mouse Gunner, signing out.